Good afternoon, everybody. Buen pomeriggio, buenas tardes, goedemiddag. Yeah, that's something I've prepared. Welcome to our first online partner event of 2020. I'm Tim. I think some of you already know me. For those who haven't spoken to me yet, I'm your host for today. I'm one of the solution architects within Datatrics. Together with the team, we've organized this event especially for you. So what are we going to do today? We are with 100 attendees at the moment, so thank you for joining. Those 100 attendees are across 55 different agencies, so almost all of our partners are joining it as we speak. We are spread across the world at the moment, so that's why we're talking in English today. So we are present in the Netherlands, of course, in Belgium, even in Italian market now, the Nordics, of course, and even at the other side of the world in Latin America. So we are internationally based at the moment, so thank you for everyone for joining. What we'll do today, I'll give you a short update about our program for now. What we'll do these 2 hours is the following. First, we'll start with the people at the desk right now. Those are my direct colleagues. I'll introduce them shortly. They're going to talk about the past, the present, and of course the future of Datatrics. So what are we going to do within the upcoming year and beyond that? Straight after that, we'll switch persons at this table. So we've got some external guests who will sit here. They will talk about several market sessions, so about things, what happens in the market lately. So we'll make it that within the 60 minutes. I cannot be sure if we'll stick to that 60 minutes, because once the fire is on, it's hard to stop it. But if I have a few minutes left, there's still something I want to share with you, especially for our partners, of course, but I'm not going to tell what that is yet, so you should stick till the end. But before we start with our first part, I want to briefly share to you guys the nice awards in front of this desk. You can see them. They are the bronze, the silver, and the gold certificate awards. I've seen a lot of them on LinkedIn already. Every partner who signed the partner agreement this year and committed it to the requirements have received them, or it will be at your desk later this week or early next week. But these are not the only 3 ones. There will be a few more at the end, so stick tight. So what are we going to do now? We're going to start with our first program because it's full, so we have to go through it. So what I will do, I will introduce our first guest for now. Let's start with, at my left, for the viewers to the right, Bas Nieland, our CEO and founder. You started Datatrics 6 years ago already. A lot has changed, of course, considering business and technically.
Yep.
You're going to tell something about the past, the present, and beyond. So you're going to tell something about that. Thank you for that already. Next to the other side is Cas Ekelhoff. He is our UI UX designer. I think nobody has seen you in the past because you're, of course, always working behind the curtains. But they see what you deliver because last week we've launched, of course, a great update. So you're going to tell something about that. And last but not least, Jan-Willem van Dijk. He joined Datatrics early this year as our new product owner. A lot of the partners have spoken to you already. You're on a regular basis, you're talking to them about the way of working, etc. So that's the part you're going to highlight in your presentation. So that's our first part of the program. I'll give the word now to Bas, who joined the presentation desk right now, and he's going to take it over. So Bas, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Tim. I would like to start with a look back of 2020. So, what did we face in this year? What did we do? I think for most of the organizations, 2020 was quite a challenging year for us. The last year, so we have faced quite a significant and substantial growth within Datatrics. 2020 was a slowdown of this growth. especially due to the challenges that we saw within the travel and leisure industry, quite a big industry for us. So we had to adapt to this situation as well. And also most of us, we worked completely remote for this year, which also had some challenges in terms of collaboration. We still saw a lot of potential for investing in what we are doing, our business. So the situation around COVID didn't prevent us for investing in our future. We especially invested quite some resources, time and energy in our product and the infrastructure around it. We saw quite some challenges after the quite rapidly grow of the last years, that did have quite a big impact on where we stand from a product perspective and what we needed in terms of infrastructure. Last year we spent basically a substantial amount of our resource, of development resources, into the migration from our previous cloud provider to Amazon, so the AWS cloud environment. Basically a project of almost 2 years came to a conclusion a couple of months ago. This step was really important for the growth, but also for the stability and availability that we want to guarantee to our clients and partners. Also in relation to the international growth. So last year we have been focusing on the European market, and as Tim already mentioned, nowadays we have also an interesting client base in the Latin America market region, and of course we want to assist them with the best availability as well. Also, in terms of product, we made quite important improvements. Of course, we used a lot of feedback that we gathered the last years from clients, but especially you guys as partners, to improve the current set of features that we offer, make them more stable and easy to use. Jan Willem and Cas will highlight this further. And more specifically related to features. Datatrics is basically an organization that started 6 years as a real startup, quite hands-on. We tried to develop really fast and act on the developments that we saw in the market. And we are now in the middle of a situation where we have to grow from a startup to a scale-up company that has an impact on a lot of different aspects of our business. And in general, you could say that the maturity is one of the things we try to grow in, and that is basically something that needs attention in all teams. So last year we also made very nice steps in making sure that the Datatrics company as a whole organization gained more maturity and professionalism in the way we work. The fact that we hired Jan Willem and Cas was a really important step related to the product, making sure that the way we develop and the direction that we develop in is in line with what people should expect from us. And last but not least, last year we released our official partner program. Also something which was a result of a lot of feedback that we gathered from potential and existing partners. And it's basically a first version of how we think we could efficiently and successfly work with the partners in order to accomplish both commercially and customer-facing results. For next year and beyond that, we basically have quite a clear vision. So to grow as a mature, actionable, marketer-focused CDP for the mid-size marketing teams that become increasingly data-driven. So this mission contains some really important components. First is the fact that we aim for an actionable and marketing-focused CDP, meaning that we want to be something that works out of the box and is focused on the actionable part of working with data. So try to make the step from data to actionable use in campaigns as small as possible, and to do this in such a way that it is doable for almost everyone. And of course, still focused on the marketer part. If you think that we are quite good in bringing a solution to the marketing team specifically, and we try to do so for the mid-sized team, meaning that we create something which is relevant for both an email marketer, advertising specialist, but also a content marketer, for example. And what we see is that within our partner and client base, our users become more and more data-driven, meaning that they have more and more understanding on what they can do with data, and we want to help them with this as well. And it means that this has quite a big impact on the type of features we offer, and we will highlight this later on as well. So our key priorities for 2021. Basically, we are still, and that is something that is quite important from the beginning of Datatrics, create a solution that is really user-friendly and is something that works in such a way that it is a pleasure to work with it on a daily basis. The recent release of our platform included the new onboarding, which is basically a first step in becoming even more user-friendly. And with the new resources within the product team, we think that we can, in the upcoming year, take some huge step towards an even more UX and user-friendly platform, especially focusing on making the frequent tasks really simple to do, and especially efficient by offering such features that you can actually benefit from what you did in the past and reuse components, for example, better. The coming year, we will continue with making sure that Datatrics grows towards a mature organization that is capable of supporting our international partners. So within all teams, we will continue investing in new competences. And those competences, of course, should contain, of course, the right knowledge and skills to assist our partners. So for marketing, which will be quite a substantial new team for Datatrics next year, we will make sure that we have people on board that have the right skills for supporting an international partner network, so that we can also, related to marketing activities, partner up with all of you to gain more growth. Last year, we already made quite a big step towards a more scalable product, especially in relation to the migration to Amazon in a scalable infrastructure. Next year, we will continue more on making sure that new releases are more frequent, so that we can release smaller parts and basically ship new versions of the product earlier. Jan Willem will come back to this later on. And we will make sure that the testing procedures are more scalable as well. And as mentioned before, this year we released the partner program. Next year we will be focusing on further enhancing it. The last weeks we collected quite some feedback on how all of you experienced the current partner program. A lot of useful feedback came out of this. And this feedback will be used to further optimize the program and to make sure that new onboardings of clients and sales processes will be more efficient for all of us. So some practical examples of the projects that we will start working on next year. First of all is the involvement of partners in our product strategy. So that is something we started experimenting with last year, making sure that all feedback is captured and included in the roadmap in a right way. And that's something which we want to push to all partners in the upcoming year, making sure that actually all feedback is included, and that we also can show the first results of those feedback included in the platform to partners before we ship it to end customers. So that's a big project. Another one is the dedicated focus that we are going to introduce for our customer success team. Nowadays, basically, we have a success and a support team which acts as one team. We are going to separate them. On one side to make support more efficient, and the other side to make sure that the support team actually has time and resources available for the success part, meaning they are going to reach out to partners, helping them with taking next steps for clients. So I think that's a huge step in optimizing the collaboration with your partners. We are going to introduce the Datatrics community, and that's basically an online platform that we are going to introduce for making a bridge between partners on one side and end customers, to make it easier for them to reach out to partners and to make use of the services they offer. So I think that's quite an interesting project. We will have the public release of our analytical add-on. As said in our mission statement, we see that our clients and especially partners become more and more data-driven, and they want to have more control over the raw data that we collect and what we can do with it. So the analytical add-on will be added on top of our platform to basically enable our users to do a deep dive on the data themselves, create dashboards, insights, and translate them to actionable audiences within Datatrics. And in line with this development, we are still working on new ways of allowing more advanced users to, on one side, optimize the algorithms that we offer, for example, in terms of recommendation strategies, but also to create completely new strategies based for really specific business cases, for example. And the last one, as part of the program, the partner program, we introduced the certification training. I think quite an important step for us, with really interesting results. It was quite a success. For next year, we're also going to introduce an advanced training for users that want to take a next step and to want to show that they have the right skills for this as well.
So,
that was from my side.
Thank you, Bas, for your added value about at least 2021 and the future. But if you talk about, 2021 and the future, you're telling that we as Datatrics are going to investigate more into the CDP. Of course, there are a lot of competitors in the market saying, okay, more personalization tooling. But what is Datatrics' difference than all the others?
Yeah, that's a good question, Tim. I think the biggest difference is that the CDP market in general is still quite a technical one. So it's still really heavily focused on the collection part of data of CDPs. So we still, that's I think the biggest added value of Datatrics, that we try to focus more and more on the being actionable part of a CDP. So actually making sure that data is usable for optimization of marketing and especially customer journeys. And we want to be focusing more and more, which is also quite unique if you compare it to most of the suite solutions, that we want and believe in the best of breed approach. So being part of an existing ecosystem instead of offering a complete suite of marketing tools. We believe that we can enrich other tools that have specific use cases, an ESP solution, for example, instead of becoming an ESP solution. And that offers us the possibility to focus on what we are good in, optimizing and orchestrating customer journeys instead of other activities.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for your answer, Bas. So Bas has done his part of the presentation. Of course, we're not finished yet. Jan Willem is taking over, so he switched the role right now. So he's at the presentation desk right now. So Jan Willem, our product owner, will continue about 2021 and beyond. So Jan Willem.
Yeah, thanks Tim for the introduction, and great to be here and talk a bit more about product in detail. So let's go to my slide first. I started in March working at Datatrics, and of course I first got to know a bit more about the product, but it's quite a complex product, so that took me a while. And I started working first on with the product team, the technology team, was setting up a way of working in order to maximize the impact of our team. So one thing we did was setting up a structure, and that structure we wanted to implement in order to grow the output of our team. Because I think with strict structure you can get the most out of it. And I think one of the things we did, for instance, is working in sprints. We started with working in sprints, I think, in April. And the good thing about working in sprints is that we became a bit more trustworthy in planning on what we expected to do. As we started, of course, it was quite difficult still to estimate how much work we could do in a sprint. But as we're doing it now over half a year already, we become quite trained in estimating how much work can we do as a team on certain aspects. And now stakeholders, for instance, our customer success team, they can really depend on us as we tell them, okay, this sprint we will work on this issue. They can expect us to actually deliver it in this sprint as well. So it works nice for them. And other things is what we focused on is, for instance, just finishing the work that we started. And it sounds a bit like the most simple thing to do, but previously we had a bit of trouble actually finishing stuff we started with, as it became a bit more difficult once we started working on it. And those changes make us deliver more than we did previously. And another thing we've done a lot more since like half year is a lot of communications between the teams, between team product and team customer success. We have a lot of contact regarding the issues, and we provided them with questions. Okay, what do you actually mean? What do you really want us to solve? And by having regular contact on, okay, what is the issue and what do you want to solve? I think we got much faster in solving problems. And this is about solving problems, but of course we want to bring the product to a next level as well. So we said we only spend this much time as a team on solving problems, but we also want to make a step ahead, actually working on new projects as well. And we just brought live quite a big release last week, and you can see we created for the last few months, we created something nice with insights and the platform guide as well. So the second thing we did is choosing what we wanted to build and what we wanted to fix. So there's always a lot of plans. Bas talked about the plans for next year. We still need to decide what are we going to start working on. And that's always a question of how much work will it be and what will be the impact and how can we focus as much as possible in order to this stuff we choose to work on to deliver it as fast but as good as possible. And that also goes with, sometimes there's some issues. Which one are we going to solve first and which one maybe have to wait a bit longer? We can't do everything at the same time, so we had to create a structure where we really make choices on what we work and what we don't work, and we communicate on what we work and what we don't work in order to be as successful as possible. And then the third one in our way of working is that we started working as a team more and also using the specific qualities. And while we, during the year, we brought in quite a lot of new resources within the team with specific qualities. So for instance, Cas joined as a UX, UI designer, and he has, certain capabilities we didn't have before. And we really tried to use those capabilities to come up with designs as good as possible. We brought in Nick, who is our DevOps engineer, who is only focused so far on the AWS migration and setting that up as fast as possible. And that really makes a difference in because there's focus on those areas instead of developers doing all kinds of stuff and not focusing on the stuff they are best at. And this all comes together, and this is just an example of how we try to create a fast process on the first part where we actually set up a roadmap. What are we going to work on first and why? And after that, we're going to specify very strictly what is going to be in it and what's not going to be in it. So what are the requirements? After that, Cas and I together are working on a design resulting in a wireframe. That again, we discuss with the product team and check with them actually, like, is this something you can build? Do you have any advice? Should we change, etc.? And together with their input, we readjust the plan and eventually come up with like a final version. And then together as a team, we do the estimation and the planning. So we estimate how much work is this going to be, and we do it as a team to have a estimation as trustworthy as possible. And after that, we plan it in sprints. And then development, of course, they themselves create it. But during the process of creating it by development, there are regular sessions with us and with stakeholders to check if what they are building is in line what we expect them to build. And to see if we have to make adjustments because, for instance, it is much more work than we expected to create a certain feature. Okay, maybe we can change it, or we can just leave it behind in order to keep that speed. And then finally, we bring it live, and we have a fast process now in order to test it and get a feedback and get it really live for release as fast as possible. So the second part is about 2021 and our strategy for the product and technology team. So it has a lot of the same things as Bas already told, but it is a bit more in depth about it. So the first one is actionable insights. We just brought live insights this week as the component itself in the team in the platform. But what we plan to do is on all the other components as well, for instance, audience or content, bring actionable insights within those components in order to help you make use of the platform as much as possible. So to get tips and tricks on which audience to use for which touchpoint, for instance. The second thing we wanted to do, and that's also in line with what we brought live last week, is the onboarding flow. We just brought live the platform guide for new users and existing users to start using our features as good as possible. And we want to extend this platform guide. This was only the first step. We want to make the platform as easy as possible to understand and set up campaigns and go through the product and without getting stuck because you don't know how to get ahead, or because it's too much work, or because it takes too much time. We really want to improve the UX in order to make it simpler. And there's a bit of an overlap with the third point, so the user experience. Right now, there's quite a few questions coming up towards us, like, is our integration set up in the right way? Or can we improve something with the integration? And I think with bringing more feedback towards the users, we take away the insecurity for you guys in order to be certain, okay, the integration is working well. The content I have is actually updated. And it also goes with setting up an audience, for instance. Have I done it the right way? Did I miss something? Is this working? And by giving that feedback right away, we take away a lot of mistakes, and that makes it easier and nicer to work with those products. And the last one is actually something that goes on for the complete year, and that's so we've made a few steps this year in improving our processes, in improving our team, in improving our output. And what we want to do is continue with that process and improve our quality of work, make it sure it's scalable what we do, etc. So that's it.
Okay, well, thank you, Jan Willem. But you're talking about a lot what we're going to do in 2021. But can you just give me and our partners who are watching just a small part of, say, Q1 2021? What are we going to do then and deliver specifically in that quarter? Just to have some more.
I think I think the last one, so future-proof tech, is something that goes on for the complete year. And I think onboarding and actionable insight is something we've just released quite a big chunk with the insights and with the platform guide. And so for Q1, we plan to really work on some existing product components and improve them on providing user experience, but also providing feedback. So I think Cas in his presentation has a few examples on stuff we work on and we plan to deliver in Q1 that is really based on improving our current product.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I hope this information is worthwhile. But of course, it's quite theoretical. That's why we've asked Cas, our UI UX designer, to come up here as well. Because in theory, it's very good, but we want to see something from a practical decision. So, Cas, you're going to show some stuff, really some stuff. So I say the floor is yours, and show us some stuff.
Thank you, Tim. I am the UI UX designer. I started this year, the 1st of May. It's nice to be here to show you some real images. I'm the man for the real images. And this first part is about insights. We launched last week. Insights exist in two parts, acquisition and retention. The acquisition part is for the visitors, and the retention is based for the customers. And what you see right here is for the visitors is the visitor funnel. It's for what you see on the right. You see your total visitors, what you have in the 4 different journey phases, and we split them on their buying behavior. And we also check if you have some difference in the last 30 days, if you have some more visitors or less, and hopefully more, of course. The second part, the other part is the retention. It's for the customers. They already bought something, and you see it quite nice in this retention grid. The yellow part is they are the one-time buyers. The brown one are the sleepers. The blue is the promises, and the red alerts, and the green is the loyals. Of course, they have their specific color. Of course, the red alerts speaks for themselves. It's the red color, and the loyals are green. What you see in this grid is the number of orders. You see it, the number on the left, and the days since last order at the top. And based on those two, you split them in those groups. And also in this visual, you see your total customers with the difference in the last 30 days. This is the more detailed part of the retention grid. You have also more details in the visitor funnel. Of course, what you see before in the images, the funnel and the grid, it's nice to see, but it's I think everyone knows more specific details of their visitors and customers. So that's what we do. You can click on the part, the group, what you want. In this example, you see the red alerts. And what you are going to see here are some different things. You see on the left some tabs, demographics, customer types, persuasion types, geographics, user interest, technology, and sourcing UTM. We don't launch them all right now, but it's some future projects. We launched this week the customer types, persuasion types, technology, and sourcing UTM. It's quite nice because you see a pie chart right here with your total customers and the different behaviors. And the group size of the specific customer type and the difference for them in the last 30 days. And the same for persuasion types and technology and sourcing UTM. And you can switch in this view to every group. You see at the top near group details, you see the red alerts. You can switch to every group you want. This is an image. It's not live right now, but it's a future project, future expansions. It's a graph. A very nice thing. What you see right here is your growth of the specific journey phases in this part. You see your grow for the every month and for the difference in every 30 days. And this is the same image, but in a chart. You can switch your view what you want. This view, some of you guys will already know. It is the previous. It's a bit of the previous insights page. It is right now under the A/B testing under the project settings. What you can do right here is to use Datatrics with the slider to target your audience, what you want. And it's also possible to make exceptions per domain. And underneath you see the performance, the conversion rate, average order value, and additional revenue, what you already know. And of course, you all know the Datatrics graph value. Datatrics value the show versus height. What Jan Willem and Bas already said, we launched our new onboarding. After filling in the proposal page and walking through the company introduction, you finish it up with the onboarding, and you can start with the onboarding. And this is the first screen. It's a cheerful pop-up page with a demo video you can watch if you want. If you want to go further with the onboarding, you click on the button to start with the real onboarding to get to know the platform. So this is the next page, the real onboarding. What I already mentioned, you fill in the company, the settings. It is the introduction. You see it with the green check. It's already done. And underneath the get ready part, some are checked and some not. So with the onboarding, you walk completely through the platform with installation and also the personal stuff to get to know the platform. This is the personal part of the onboarding. You will walk through the platform with some product tours. You can view insights, audience, the content, A/B testing journey, etc., etc. You can walk through it on the way you like. And with the product tours, you see it right here. We will help you to get to know the platform as good as you want. And so you can start working with Datatrics in the right way, in the easy and quite easy and nice way. The next project is a navigation update. It is not a big project, but it was quite necessary to do because to use Datatrics in the right way, it's good to categorize some elements in the navigation. So what we do, what have we do? On the left, you see all the things, steps you can do inside the platform. So we created like a funnel. So you start with insights. You can find all your audience, your profiles, some content, campaigns, and journeys. And at the right, we have your settings and your user information. And you see some icons. You can go back to the onboarding, some notifications, and if you need help, you can ask us some help. And we categorized all the settings. Normally, it was one long list. And what we do right now, we categorized it in some nice elements. The project settings, user settings, and account settings. And you can click deeper on the topic. For example, project settings, and you see this. And I think it's a very nice way to navigate through your settings. And this is one quite new project. It's not launched, and this is just the first screens I designed. The whole idea is to walk through the whole platform to update all the elements inside the platform by UI, UX, and also a bit communication. And we do it in the way, what I already said, the funnel from left to right. So we already launched Insights last week. The second part is audience, and this is the audience I've created so far. What we do, what you see right here is not the whole audience, but it's only a small thing, not small, but it's the only thing to create segments. The first part is when you click on a button, create segment, you see this screen. You can choose if you want to create custom segments or predefined segments. The difference is we want to also create some libraries inside the platform to give you a nice start with some, in this way, segments. And if you want to create some custom segments, it's also very easy to do. And at the right, you see it's empty right now, but you fill it up with the steps you already take. You see it on the right. It's a short summary with all the steps you take. So this is the next step in create a segment. For example, you click on conversion. You open a new screen and already opens the tab, the drop down. You can choose the rule you want. For example, number of conversions. After that, you see the three elements you can fill in. So it's the condition, you modify it, and the values. And a nice thing you see with the green button, it's you can add some scenarios. It's a really nice feature. And this is when you click on scenario, you can add them as a rule. And the last project, it's not a platform project, but it's we launched last week our brand new website. We explain a lot more about all our capabilities. If you want to know more about how Datatrics will work, you can find all those things at our brand new website. Also good to know some very nice tips and tricks how to use our platform. And of course, with brand new and very nice images. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Cas. As Cas mentioned, our website is, of course, the new website is live, so I would really appreciate if you guys go to it. You as our partners will have a prominent role on it, so you'll see yourself there. The tips and tricks is really something you should look at. Perhaps you can get some information out of it you can use in 2021. Of course, there's a lot of new to use in 2021, as Cas, Jan-Willem, and Bas mentioned. So I want to thank them for their part of this part of our partner event. So the first part is already over. We are a few minutes before schedule, so that's good. So we've got some extra time for our next part. So what we're going to do now, the guests here, so Bas, Jan-Willem, and Cas will move over. We'll start a short video of just 1 minute. After that, I'm still here, so don't worry. There are a few people sitting here, so I'll introduce to you them shortly. So you've got 1 minute, and then we are back, and see you then.
touch me.
So, welcome back everybody. As you can see, new people at the table. What we're going to do now in the second part, we're going to have a knowledge sharing session. It's new for me, so I'm not as good as Eva or Bo yet, so we'll try to make it a discussion as good as possible. So what we're going to do now, we will have some discussions together. As you all have known, as Bas mentioned already, 2020 was a turbulent year. In this year, of course, even we as Datatrics have had ups and downs. Ups due to, well, COVID. You know, a lot of companies using Datatrics in the e-commerce or in the retail section have had a lot of growth last year. But on the other hand, there were, of course, a lot of companies like in the travel and leisure who went, well, a little bit down the grid. So we had some impacts on that. We're going to discuss those kind of topics together with my guests here. Let me shortly introduce them to you. Then they've got a minute for themselves to introduce them. At my left, to your right, Wouter van Heijden from the Nieuwe Zaak. Welcome.
Thank you.
Next, Martijn Berns from the Endeavor Group. Thank you for being here. And last but not least, Edwin Rauhorst from APC.
Yeah,
Thank you as well. All these guys here are as our gold partners. We are missing actually one person. We have had Patty from ESM here, but due to COVID, she couldn't make it. So, you know, that's why we have to do it together right now. Let's start with Wouter. I know you for a long time already. You are working at the Nieuwe Zaak. I'll leave it to you. You've got 1 minute of fame to introduce yourself, of course. So who are you, where are you from, and what's your expertise?
Okay, now I'm Wouter van Heijden. Sorry. I'm a data analytics consultant and team captain of the data and customer insights team at the Nieuwe Zaak. And the Nieuwe Zaak is a full-service e-commerce agency. And I help our clients, which are retail, wholesale, and brands, to use their data for to become more relevant and help there with their personalization challenges. And I believe in a step-by-step approach and using data to become more relevant, and not only on one channel but on multiple channels to get most of your out of your data.
Cool. I'm looking forward to get into discussion with you about some topics. Well, next to me, Martijn Berns from the Endeavor Group. It was a big trip to come here. We are filming in Enschede, our headquarters, of course, but you're not from here, not around. You're from the West. So,
Sure.
So you've seen a lot of the Netherlands today.
Yes, a nice trip.
Yeah, nice trip. Please introduce yourself as well.
Okay, so I'm Martijn Berns. I work at Endeavor Group. We are a group of highly specialized companies who join forces to help our customers succeed online. I'm a managing partner at Hello Dialog. We are the email marketing and marketing automation specialists of the group. And within the Endeavor Group, we use customer data platforms as a central part of the online marketing, connecting all the databases, all the systems and data into one smart database to optimize the customer journeys of our customers. And yeah, we've been using Datatrics for quite a while. Had some nice successes for our customers, so I'm looking forward to share my thoughts with you today on that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. And last but not least, Edwin Rauhorst from APC. For you, it was almost like a hometown trip. So one of our own, few partners based in the eastern of the Netherlands as well.
Yeah.
So who are you? What's your expertise?
Yeah, as you said, I'm Edwin Rauhorst, online performance consultant at Achterhoek Performance Center, based in Doetinchem. So the trip wasn't very long, like 50 kilometers to Enschede. With that, Datatrics Gold Partner, now for I think a year now.
Yeah.
And it's our marketing automation and omni-channel tooling and CDP to practice marketing automation and personalization for our clients. You've been and still am very satisfied by the tooling, and I'm really looking forward to discuss some topics about COVID, about marketing automation, personalization with all of you. So looking ahead of it.
Cool. Well, thanks. So these are the guests we're going to do a knowledge session with together. As mentioned, Patty couldn't be here, sadly. So it's just us. As just mentioned, COVID has had a big impact on our business. And way of working, of course, because now we are here in the studio, of course, with the nice distance, etc. Everyone has been tested, of course, so we are corona-proof until now. But how did COVID impact your business and way of working? Wouter, can you tell something about that?
Yes, it's as you mentioned, the year is it's like a new year. New challenges have been come to us this year, and what we saw is a couple of things. The first thing is that, of course, because of COVID, people had to stay at home, work at home, and go less to the physical stores. And for us as a company, the first transition was working remote, because we always worked on the office, because you have you have face-to-face contact.
Yeah.
And that was a transition we had to make, which we now all are used to. The other thing related to that is that we did a lot of workshops with our clients on premises, and that is not possible anymore. So we had to make the transition on workshops in which we had a nice screen and post-its and
like interaction with each other,
a lot
the
of
client
interaction.
itself. Yeah.
Yes, and we had to change that and make new rules, and now we have done that a lot, and so it's the new standard for us, and it works. If you take new boundaries into account.
Yeah.
So yes, and the last thing is that because of COVID, there was a lot more online traffic, but I think one of the other questions I will elaborate on that.
So, Martijn, I've been at your office quite often. So. Great office to be there. A lot of interaction you can have with the several divisions you guys have. You know, like Hello Dialog is a part of the Endeavor Group. So, are you missing that interaction with your colleagues, etc., or your clients face to face as well?
Yes, of course. Yeah, it's sad that we cannot have like the interactive and personal sessions like this.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I had to drive to Enschede today.
Yeah.
So every now and then it saves you a couple of hours of traveling. That's the upside.
That's true.
So yeah, and we started reorganizing the company as everybody did, I guess. Having daily stand-ups, and funny thing is we noticed that after those daily stand-ups, we had less need for meetings during the day, because you had this brief 10-minute sessions every day. So this is a nice plus to get to work in different ways now. So that's okay. But it's been a roller coaster year, of course.
Yeah.
Beginning, everybody froze. It was like, hey, what's going on? What's going to happen now? And then marketing budgets were frozen. It was really bad time. But then during the months in the summer, you saw, like, on the one hand, the B2B market was still very hesitant, and it was very hard to get new customers and to get a lot of projects going. To implement new stuff. But on the other hand, the B2C online shops were growing like crazy.
Yeah.
So all the attention went to that part. So yeah, it's been crazy between silence and no business and running really hard, because we're active in both markets. So.
Yeah, that's something we'll discuss later on. Of course, the B2B part is something the Newsark is really focusing on. Edwin, did something change in your way of working then as well since, COVID?
Did something change? It was a rocky 2020, as I always say to my clients and people who ask for it, it's a world of extremes at this moment, even in marketing, but also in the normal life. And we also see that in our with our clients. We have e-commerce, B2B, e-commerce, B2C web shops who have never been so successful at this year. But we also have physical stores. One of our clients is a wellness center. That plummeted, of course. There's no business in that anymore. Steadily, with the measures in the Netherlands, it's getting a bit better, but it's only 40-50% that people that companies can be open at this moment. So it's a rocky 2020, and it's a world of extremes. And also with marketing budgets, that's also a thing that's complicated at this moment, because some clients are turning, some e-commerce businesses are turning are going so well that the budgets skyrocketed, but some keep off. Some clients, of course, those B2B companies, they don't know where to focus. So that's also a challenge. Maybe the other channels we haven't explored yet. Maybe those B2B businesses are also interested in a CDP or a predictive tool as Datatrics. So it's a challenging year, and that's also a bit of the fun part of this Corona crisis. So
there was something was quite interesting what you're saying. It's about the difference between offline and offline. So what are the increases or decreases between offline and online? What kind of possibilities do you still see there then?
I think if you the omni-channel marketing between physical stores and online e-commerce businesses, I think that's a strategy that after the COVID crisis, it will be more important, because you see physical stores almost can't be without an e-commerce store anymore. But the trend we saw the last 2 years is that the shift from e-commerce to physical stores, because you have products you want to touch, to feel in physical stores. So I think after this COVID crisis, one of the challenges is what's the balance between a physical store and an e-commerce store. So I think that's one of the challenges we're facing after the COVID crisis.
So Martijn, in theory, you can say offline shops are dead after 2021?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
No?
No, because of COVID, everybody realizes that we're like a social breed, you know? We like to go out and socialize and do stuff, you know? And that's what we lack now.
Well, we've seen that last week, of course, due to Black Friday.
Yeah,
In
exactly.
Rotterdam, I guess, in the Netherlands, it was
100%.
completely crowded.
Yeah. So I think, you know, the going out and have an experience is going to be an important part of shopping after COVID. So the traditional chain stores, well, perhaps still have a difficult time. But if the city centers offer like an experience and day out, then I think you have a good chance that also the physical stores will perhaps see a small increase after COVID. Who knows? So, and of course, it's all about balance. You know, everybody knows if you're a brick and click, you know, online is so important. There's for the balance, and perhaps for future security, you need to have online presence as well. Yeah. But I think it's both, and the physical stores will, I hope, have a good comeback.
Yeah. Do you think the same, Wouter?
Yeah, and what I want to add is that because of the increase of online traffic, there are a lot of people who were used to buying offline now have made a step to online. So there is a small group that wasn't used to online. So there are new buyers online, and I think those will stick online. And what I think is that the practical stuff or the functional products will be bought online. Yeah. And as you say, the fun shopping will be offline. So it will be more about inspiration. And that's also one of our clients who really struggled in this period because they had a lot of showrooms, and they are in the decoration branch. So you really have to experience and see the stuff, and you can't just see it from a picture. And they had a hard time this period, and they had to really make a shift for more exposure online and more catalog. Don't know if they're the right words, but putting the products online with the same experience as offline, which is, in my opinion, not possible. But
it's a nice creative challenge, right?
Yeah. And I think it's one they had to make anyway in a couple of 5 years. But now they have to speed the process up.
Due to COVID, it's actually it's speeded up a little bit more, of course.
Yes.
But as you mentioned that case of you, they had to change because they've got offline decoration, of course. They need to some way they need to put that online, of course. So, do you think that 2021, the online business will be the major income of those companies? So companies need to transform even more, say in the next year.
Yes, I think they still have to make the transition and even speed it up. But actually, I don't think it's because of COVID, but it's just because of our culture and the online business and the getting used to the online experience, which is growing and becoming more easier and more relevant by tools like Datatrics. We can offer more relevant content to online users.
Yeah, but Edwin, do you think there's a difference between a B2B client or a B2C client? As you mentioned, you have a lot of B2C clients, of course. Wouter's a little bit more in B2B. But do you think that change for 2021 and go more online is difference between B2B and B2C?
If you focus on COVID, then the effect
just the regular way of doing business.
Yeah, I think, of course, there's a challenge in with COVID. There's a change now at this moment that's forced. If you look at the changes in online marketing and e-commerce, if you look at B2C, they were looking for a balance, as I call the balance between physical stores and online stores. Of course, I think that balance is more forced at this moment to look at where are we going to satisfy our customers at this moment. So are we? How do you make products that are physical? Physical. You want to touch. How are you going to market those online? And if you look at B2B, how can you market something like that? What channels do you want to use at the moment to B2B? I don't know which channels you most likely use and how you feed those channels with with the segments and the targeting you have at this moment. I don't know how you accomplish that at this moment.
Yeah, of course, it depends on the client. One of the main difference between B2B and B2C is that within B2B you still have the account managers, which have a really prominent role in selling the product. And they had a hard time now to get to other people or other companies physical. But on the other hand, there is more online traffic. So in theory, you could say that you have more data for those account managers before they go or before they make contact.
Yeah.
So that is one of the main differences and also a major channel for B2B. And due to COVID, there is less, the more communication is done online. And so you have to make most out of those contact moments. And I think that we have to help those account managers to give them more relevant data from visits or from
Yeah, we see a lot of companies came to us during COVID, B2B companies, no trade shows, no physical contact with your customers. So how we do this whole digital play, how can we do that? And of course, marketing automation is an obvious choice for that. Hosting webinars, you throw all the webinars during
like this one.
Even more.
So, but you know, it's a great way to generate leads, of course, to do all the content marketing and marketing automation play. So that's what we've seen a lot during COVID, and I think this will increase the traditional or the trade shows. It will take quite a while before they are back up and running, and perhaps a lot of companies say, okay, we'll not go to them anymore, or in addition to the trade shows, we'll have a sound online strategy for generating leads as well.
Yeah.
That's why we're really active at this moment. It's really nice to help those companies out. Yeah,
it's not only COVID, of course. Last week, a few weeks ago, Black Friday, so it was like massive. And we've had Black Friday, of course. Due to COVID, it was increased, of course, a lot. What can you expect for Christmas, Martijn? Because I think that will be online only.
Yeah. So the same crazy figures we send out. Crazy amounts of emails, you know. Everybody's sending out, and I don't know whether the customer getting tired of the online host of emails and other targeted, but I expect the same for Christmas, and there's still a lot of companies making good money out of it. Yeah, because you're at home. There's no family dinner. There's no. So what do? You go online. You shop.
You go shop. You go shopping. Just online shopping.
Yeah.
Okay, but what if you say, okay, you want something to add to that?
I want to add something about that, and that's more about the. So I agree on the fact that the shift of buying goes to online. So there will be an increase in online buying, but I also think that there is a more awareness about. Yeah, how do you say that? About the earth, about culture, about knowing that having contact with your family and friends is important.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think that there will be less, that the effect of discounts and shouting will be less because people are more aware of their, why are we on earth, what is happening, and
I agree, but when they look at their wallet, you know, it's discounts. Even especially in Holland, but I guess all over the world, people look at the wallets, and that's important. And second comes, you know, and when you're talking to your friends, environment is important. Everything is. I'm conscious about that. Yes, so that's playing a bigger part. But still, when you go out and buy stuff, you also look at your wallet.
And what I also can imagine, but it's more like a physical, not physical. But what I can imagine is that you feel like an emptiness, and that you buy something to fill up that emptiness. So more online buying.
And you find out that doesn't work, and you buy more. No?
And the people have the budget at this moment. There's no vacations. There's
there's more to spend.
There's more to spend at this moment. So I think that. In combination with the warm and fuzzy feeling of Christmas, I think that the point you're making, that it's that the focus on discount, what always, and we always make the joke about Dutch people, they always like to get things for free or with a big discount. But I think the Christmas message, and in combination with the whole environment movement you see now, I think it's the focus is more on the warm and fuzzy feeling about Christmas than the discount part.
I agree, but that's the good thing about our business. It's not only data; it's also creativity and the emotions of the buyer, and that's really important. So if you combine like smart data and but with the good creative campaigns that go into like this feeling you're talking about. Then you have a good campaign.
Yeah, that's, and to as an addition to this, it's of course it's because there are so many offers, so many mails as you. It's the war about attention. So, and that's back to Datatrics. Is that being relevant is even more important in this. So the offer you do to your potential customers has to be even more relevant than before.
And with the right channel and at the right time. Because I've my private mailbox. I have a private mailbox for all the discount stuff, and I haven't touched it for the whole of December because of Black Friday, Christmas, Sinterklaas in the Netherlands. So there's always screaming, shouting. I think on the right place with the right channel at the right moment is more important, and with personalization and the right CDP to feed those channels and to segment your audience. I think that's an important thing with COVID, but also after COVID.
Yeah. So I have to be honest. I've got a lot of emails as well, like newsletters, etc. And I only open them when something is personalized. So. Yeah. I've got a lot of mailbox and just the static newsletters, etc. So I'm just going to tell it: static newsletters are dead. Personalization is key. Martijn, this is really a question for you, I guess.
Yeah, so I don't agree about the static email letters are dead. I know it's a popular thing to say, and everybody says, hey, my inbox is so full and don't read it. That's what everybody says. But I see the numbers.
Yeah, they still work.
Yeah, they work. Really work. So, but of course, personalization and being relevant is key. But I think it's both. You have to have a steady flow of regular static campaigns to be top of mind, to get some easy conversions, and combine that with really smart automated mails with highly relevant content and and personalization, and then you're like king. But I think it's both.
Yeah.
So it's not just the static one; it's a combination.
Not just.
Both.
But if you lack one of them, that's not good. No.
So actually what you're telling, like the static emails, like, okay, you set it up once and then it's done. But about personalization, a major change to get there is using a CDP.
True.
So that's theoretically necessary to get personal emails.
Yeah, I agree. And the good part is that a couple of years ago it was really expensive. Only for like the high-end customers they could pay to have a really good, nice, relevant personal emails. But nowadays, using Datatrics or other tools, it's even for the smaller shops, it's easy to implement. So and that's what I love about Datatrics and the utilities you have right now to do that. So yeah.
Yeah, but it's not only email, because you are really focusing on email, of course, but even more parts like advertising, because that's really connected to email, of course.
But all the channels. It's not only email, it's not only advertising, not only conversion optimization on your website. It's all those things combined, and of course that's the essence of a customer data platform. At least I think it's not only the personalization on the site. Is when you combine all those things. Then it gets really powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, but what with so the CDP has had a major change, at least to get the impact on email, on advertising, etc. But on site as well. So, what will happen to clients without a CDP then? So, is it a mandatory thing to start 2021 with? Wouter, is it something every client needs to have?
Yes, and I think it's you need if you start now, you are already somewhat behind, and because the earlier you start gathering data, the bigger your base will be of people you have data about, knowledge about, because of course you cannot personalize for 100% of your audience, because you don't have to personalize, you need data, and for a lot of your audience you don't have the data, but for the part you have the data, you become more relevant, and the conversions, if you do it right, your conversion will be higher, and that group you should make as big as possible. So I think if you had a CDP before COVID, you have a head start, because during COVID, more people went online, and therefore your potential base is bigger. So when you start in 2021 with the CDP, you should definitely do it, because otherwise you will be more behind.
Yeah, even more behind
yes.
than you are already. But as the strategy will change, of course, in 2021, Edwin, where will you focus on? If clients do have a CDP or not yet, So where should you focus on then, since everything changed this year? Will it be lead generation? Will it be retention? Will it be SEO optimization or even conversion optimization? Where will you focus on?
I think maybe that's the red line of this conversation. I think you need to do all. It's a mix. It's the omni-channel online strategy with only the focus on advertising, or only the focus on lead gen, or only the focus on conversion rate optimization. I think that's not enough in this day and age. I think if you have an omni-channel strategy, you always begin with collecting data, profiling your audience, segmentation, and then use the right tooling for those. Because the omni-channel strategy, you first want to be noticed. Okay, branding. Okay, let's pop up in the Facebook feed. People have visited your website. Okay, haven't bought. Okay, maybe we can contact them with email. Okay, then maybe there's a retention part with Facebook or email, or I think it's CDP is useful for to connecting those dots and connecting those channels, and I think that's the future, and not one channel to focus on. Okay, maybe now you can do this, but I think in 3 that's not mandatory at all anymore. So,
okay, what would you focus on?
Well, retention is really important because you acquired a lot of new customers. Mm-hmm. And you want them to come back.
Yeah, sure, of course.
So it's you want to capitalize on the growth you experienced during COVID. So of course everything is important, but of course retention, it's 7 times cheaper to retain a customer to buy a customer. So retention is a really important part.
But is retention then only like emails, sending out emails, etc., or is it more than that?
Of course, it's more than that. It's when you use personalization and somebody comes back and sees on whatever the homepage the product he's interested in, your conversion is going to be higher. So it's got more facets than only email, of course. Yeah.
You agree on that, Wouter?
Yes.
Okay, but you're telling Martijn, you're telling just recommendation. But of course, there's a difference between recommendation and personalization. Yeah. That's something completely different. Bas was already mentioning it in his presentation already. We're going to move more over from just a personalization tool and a recommendation tool to a full CDP. Where do you want to have those insights for your visitors? Like a recommendation is just one part. Mm-hmm. But within that scenario, you need to have clear what a client wants. Then you come to that part of personalization. How to come to that, Edwin? Is there anything?
To push personalization or?
Yeah, actually the best of both worlds. How to combine that? Not just only recommendation or personalization, but how to come to that?
Good question. I think, of course, if you look at Datatrics and all the other CDPs, predictive CDPs there are in the market, it was always easy to recommend things on the website because you have a big dose of data in your CDP. Okay, what's the history? Has the customer bought it? Yes or no? Okay, we should recommend that. Okay, with a good algorithm, but real personalization with name in the email or with always a good thing is always the birthday email. Really know the client and really know the customer, when to interact with the customer. I think that's a step in the good direction Datatrics is taking, but also the market is taking, because I think a recommendation is quite easy, but real personalization, not only the name of Edwin above of the email, but also at the right moment, with the right channel to reach the customer. I think that's the real challenge, and that's the personalization, and that's the hard part of it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. You agree on that, Wouter?
Yeah, what I was thinking about is that I was thinking about personalization with the human touch. So I think people will recognize personalization in the couple of years, and I think it's just an idea about how can we make that more embed, so it will feel more fluid. So not a recommendation like others bought, because everyone knows, okay, maybe it is based on data, maybe it's just the products that have the most margin. And I think that we have to search for that. But for now, it will still be working, just like sending emails. It will still be working. So for most of the clients who start using Datatrics, just implement the easy parts. Just start with that and see how much extra conversion you get.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what I wanted to add.
Okay, cool. Anything to add, Martijn, still, or was
within email we see some easy stats that when you add personalization to a subject line, the results will be 10% better.
Okay.
So that's it's proof that it works, and it's easy to do so. And of course, you won't want to send every campaign with the personalization.
No, that's overwhelming.
So it works. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Of course, Edwin, as you mentioned, there are a lot of CDPs in the world, not just only Datatrics. But there are a lot of partners listening as well. They are all reselling Datatrics, of course. What are you telling, Martijn, sorry, what are you telling your clients to look at when picking one? Of course, Datatrics has, Bas already mentioned, like we are focusing on a particular part of it, but there are a lot more. I'm not going to tell them, of course, because it's for our event, but what do you tell your clients?
Yeah, well, so what I like about Datatrics that it has a real nice framework already set into it. So you're up and running quite fast. And you actually in the software you see the journey with different touch points, so it's easy to set up. You understand it; it's intuitive, and that's one of the parts I like about Datatrics, because I know some other tools that you can like twist the buttons a little bit more. You can set it up yourself a little bit more, but it takes a lot of time to be up and running. You have a lot of knowledge to do it well. So that's one of the things I
yeah, it's about the learning curve, the time you need to invest to get it up and running and up to speed, of course. Yeah. And the more time you need to set it up, the more it will cost in the end, of course.
With the standard customer types and the persuasion types, and so that's what I like.
Yeah. Well, Cas has shared, of course, a few slides. I think have you logged in last week already in the platform?
I did.
No, not yet. Yeah. So you've seen a lot of new stuff, of course, added to the platform about the onboarding, of course, and that's actually taking that next step to get it even easier for, say, a starter to get up and running with Datatrics. Yeah. And you're mentioning, of course, to get it up and running, get it installed, etc. That's the first step of getting CDP installed. So I know, Wouter, you are really familiar with data. Yes. Yeah, as you're telling. Do you agree with Martijn that about getting a CDP up and running is one of the major parts, in the easiest part, that's very mandatory to get a CDP up and running in comparison to the others?
I like that. Yes, and it's. I actually have two thoughts about it. One is that it should be really easy, and I think that the one of the major roles of a partner is helping the clients up and running, but also helping them with a strategy. So why are you using this tool? What are you going to achieve? Yeah. And that you help them set them up, setting the tool up, and then make that the tool should be self-service enough that they can implement new touch points themselves, and that as a partner you help them with that, because otherwise the clients are too dependent on the partners, on the agencies, and that will slow the process. So I think you should use it as often as you can, and So therefore, it's really good that we can help the clients and that it's easy to set it up. The other thing about Datatrics, which is preferable over other tools, is that it has the built-in machine learning. So you could, without the knowledge, you could use the technology that is available, and it's what's really cool is that you can tweak it with business rules. So if you want to have specific products a little bit more recommended because it suits it suits your business, then you can tweak it. So I think it's best of both worlds.
Okay.
And that's also what you say about setting up it really fast without needing a data scientist to build your model and then implement it.
So what is then the first discussion you have with a client? Is it like, okay, what do you want, what do you need, and based on that you make a decision which CDP to use? Because Datatrics is in the front end, as you've seen in the UI, like for everyone to use, but in the back end you can do whatever you want based on the data. So is it like top down or bottom up? What kind of discussion do you have with your clients?
We start with our clients with a workshop. What do you want to achieve? And then think about, is Datatrics a suitable tool? And because to be honest, if you have other problems or if your email or advertising is not up and running, you should fix that first and then start with a personalization tool. So it's first setting the goals and the strategy, and then choosing Datatrics or another tool.
Just Datatrics. Just like that.
And choose Datatrics, and then see it for yourself. So make sure that you have a demo. Make sure that you get into the tool, so you can experience all the nice features of Datatrics yourself.
Yeah. So just step by step, and not the whole package at once.
Yeah.
Okay, you do the same way, Edwin, or is it just like they can come to you and just like, okay, we can do everything Datatrics?
No. I think you must look at the overall strategy of the company. You must have, before you implement a CDP or a predictive analytics tool, you need to have all the channels you want to use or you want to feed with the segments and with the predictive power of a Datatrics or another tool. You look to what strategy and what scale is the company. What do you want to feed the channels with, and what the channels you want to use? I think that's you need to have the overall strategy and what place Datatrics has in that array of channels, because. There are also marketing automation tooling, the big packages, we all know them, that also can do mailing, also can do the other channels of fill it up. But I think do one thing good, like being a CDP, being a predictive packages, and then focus on which channels we can connect to it instead of one package that can do it all. So I think what's your overall strategy? Also, what's the pricing? That's also what's the budget to do marketing automation and predictive, and then choose which CDP or which channel the best suited for that strategy.
And in sales, I made the mistake in the beginning, talk about Datatrics, and I was talking for like half an hour, which you can do, bam, 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 with nice slides and the whole package. And the people were just overwhelmed. Like they thought, okay, that's too much for my company. I cannot handle this. So I tuned it down a little and spoke more about, well, let's first start baby steps with perhaps some basic personalization, and then after a while we'll perhaps connect some channels. So yeah, that's in the sales process, that's a better strategy.
Yeah, of course. You know, if you tell like a lot, like a waterfall, you'll be like overwhelming. Of course, I get that. But if you're just talking about the sales cycle, okay, what do you think are then the best parts of Datatrics you need to highlight then?
So you first start small, but of course you mentioned that where all the use case and all the things you can do in the long term. So, and then of course you highlight the ease of use, that perhaps a partner can set it up, but then you can train the marketing employees of the customer to do it themselves afterwards. And then you only have to do the highlight the fun stuff, the strategical parts, and make up the use cases together with the customer, and then they can do a bit more themselves, and that works well in this process.
Okay, cool. Well, Wout, if you're talking about use cases, I think you brought one use case you wanted to share with us.
Yes.
Because of course everything is only theoretical right now, but you brought one case, so we've got some slides for that, which you want to show. They're up the screen already. Please tell something about this case.
Okay. Yeah, I brought this case just to inspire everybody about the ease of use of Datatrics. And what we did in this case was we did this case with Tuinland, and Tuinland sells products for your garden, and they do that online and also in their stores. And what we did in this case was we did a kind of personalization and on three how do you say this, variables. That's we used temperature, we used the location, and we used the phase, the buying phase they were in. And it's in Dutch, but what you see in the yellow banner is it's now 16 degrees in Zwolle. That's a place in the Netherlands. And is your garden ready for the sun? So, and then a link, watch or go to the page.
Yeah, just to be sure, it was something you have had up and running this summer, actually this spring, not at the moment.
No, not at the moment.
So,
yes,
okay.
that's correct. It was in the spring, and it was to trigger the idea of the sun, of the idea of the spring is coming, and the urgency to buy products for your garden. And what you can see is that we had an uplift of 48% in orders in comparison to the control condition, of course, so when we did not show the banner. And when you can go to the next slide. The interesting thing about this is that we use the principle of enhancing emotions. And when you enhance emotions, you get people in a positive state, and therefore their likelihood to click through and convert is higher. So we used the springtime combined with this kind of client, Tuinland, and this banner to help people to get them to the product pages which has the with garden products. And the nice thing of this is that actually when you install Datatrics, you can implement this something like this because you don't need product feed, you just need the temperature, location, and the phase a person is in. What can I add to this is we also had some learnings, and they're written down here, but the reinforcing the idea of the sun and the temperature is had a positive positive effect on the conversions. And another thing is that we did it on desktop and mobile as well, and that we saw a bigger impact on mobile. And yeah, we don't know exactly why that was, but maybe because it's bigger on mobile, so you are more likely to click on it because it fills more up of your screen. And the other thing is that people on mobile are more orientating, so they get they're more
it's easier to use, and the interference with
they're susceptible for inspiration,
and
therefore clicking on something like this. So
Yeah, that's of course a nice case, and of course on our new website there are new blog articles, etc., and cases as well. So perhaps we could write a new case for that if Turnal of course agrees. So on the website there are even more cases like this, where we would like to share our knowledge about what can you use Datatrics for to achieve something. So I think that's one nice case in this. But we started of course with a nice COVID thing. So Wouter, you were already mentioning like marketing budgets are decreasing nowadays a lot. Like, we cannot do. You have to do more with less. So all costs should be as low as it can. But I think this case is one of the nice examples that you can see that with low efforts you can get maximum results. Is there anything else you can give, like tips and tricks for all our viewers about what you can achieve with the lowest budgets?
Yeah, the funny thing is that, yes, there are some lower budgets, but as also early mentioned before, is that it's not for every branch and not for every company, because what we see in wholesale is that the targets are already achieved like 2 months ago for 2020, because there was a lot more buying in the B2B sector, and what we see is for our retail is that in the beginning they struggled and it was really bad and they stopped the marketing budget. That's true, but that's because it went so bad offline, and online it went really good, and all the things we can do for our clients online. Yeah, it's as long as you can show a positive ROI, then it's in most cases we can just do it. So the budget is not always a factor.
Okay.
Like so I disagree a little bit on that. It's that small.
Okay. Do you disagree as well, Edwin? Or do you see some changes in the market about the lowest budget, maximum results, etc.?
Yeah, as I mentioned before, and as you mentioned now, I think it's a shift of budgets you see, because the physical shops are closed or are closed for a little bit, but you see the shift to online. There are e-commerce shops or also B2B. People, things they buy, if it's not a luxury good, they still need to buy, but they must be buying it somewhere else. So if you see the e-commerce websites, to reach those people and to harvest those people, if you haven't had enough retention that they are customers at your retaining customers at your shop, you need to harvest those people with enough budget to still attract those people to buy at your stores. So I think it's a shift of budget and not really that a budget downfall. Maybe at the physical stores, but online, maybe more budget is spent to harvest those people and to attract those people to your store. Yeah.
But for every budget, they can come to you and you can do everything?
No, of course not. Of course not. You need to make the right decisions, and of course, budgets are shrunk, or even campaigns had to be stopped because they're running too good. If you see some company, you can order before this day and tomorrow it's delivered. Those promises can always be promised, of course, because it went too good. So campaigns must be shut down at some point with some customers, some clients. But those budgets, then the ROI thing, the ROAS thing in advertising is very important. So how can you invest your budget with the right costs and reach the right people to maximize that and to balance that? That's the thing that's important at this moment.
Okay. Well, from the time for you, I don't think it will be a problem, because you as an Endeavor Group, you've got a lot of different verticals where they can come to you for. So any budget is okay, is it?
Well, we like to focus on like mid-sized companies with a good target to grow online. So that's when we're at our best, so we can do like good stuff and not just the budget stuff. But funny thing is, I told you about the newsletters, static newsletters that still perform well. Everybody thinks, oh, newsletters, I don't like it. Same for pop-ups on websites. You know, when you talk about Datatrics and you show some examples of some simple campaign with a pop-up, most shop owners say, oh, I don't like pop-ups, my customers don't like it. But we see really good results in this really simple campaigns when you have like a Christmas campaign with a warm fuzzy feeling with Santa Claus, whatever, and you do this on email, on advertising, but a simple pop-up on your website. Those simple campaigns, low budget campaigns, perform really well. And the customers most of the times don't expect it, but we see the results, you know, that data is king, so we can prove it works.
Yeah, so Christmas is still coming, so with those nice, simple cases, you can get maximum output, of course.
Exactly.
But that's, of course, for all the business and e-commerce companies who are already up and running. But what if I wanted to start a new e-commerce business right now? Should I create a complete new store, or can I just not join Bol or the Amazon shop-in-shop strategy? Because you see that a lot more.
Yeah, but yes.
Go ahead.
It's about being present on several channels. So your website is one channel, offline is one channel, Bol is one channel, shop-in-shop is one channel, marketplace, advertising. Even you could say your website and personalization is a channel. So it's not that you choose one; it's that you should be present on all, and they enhance each other. And because eventually it's about the potential buyer who has a customer journey, and in the journey they have a lot of different touch points, and you cannot win with only one platform or only at Bol or only whatever channel you choose.
You agree?
I agree. Sorry, no discussion.
No discussion. Oh, well, yeah, then perhaps I can start something myself as well. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm quite fine sitting here at this desk right now. No, but of course, a lot has happened and a lot will happen. But as you see, budgets will not decrease, but it will shift, of course. We've mentioned about self-service, of course. That's something that's going to happen a lot. But what do you think? What you will happen with your position itself? As well, you mentioned, like, okay, we're going to help a client first, so set everything up and running then, and then they can do it themselves. But don't you think that will change the position you as a partner are in relation with your client?
No, and that's because I think that as an agency, you should be the strategic partner of your clients, and because then you're still adding the value for your clients, and of course you can help them set it up, and but in the long run, technology will be easier. Setting up new tools will be easier, and therefore your added value is not in the first part, but helping your clients strategically. That's what I think that agencies should do in the long run.
Okay, so self-service in this case is not going to be a threat for you as an agency.
Because yes, I agree.
Okay. Edwin, about you, are you not afraid that something will change about your role as an agency for your clients in self-service?
And afraid not. No, I think the service of an agency is always moving. We're a service company, so we must look with our clients where our knowledge and the strategic planning is good for our clients. So I think, are you afraid of it? No. It's always moving. New channels are emerging, new systems are emerging, and we are a service company who services our clients. So I think that will not change, will never change. And I think if you mentioned, it's not only Bol, it's not only the other marketplace or your only web shop. I think it's you need to all those touch points, all those markets. You need to get those together, and that's your strategy. Not only I think if you're a new web shop, Bol is perhaps for the first couple of months is booming. You see sales, but the competition you see now online within the advertising channels, you also will see in Bol. So I think it's not only that is not only those easy thresholds to emerge those marketplaces, but I think it's a whole package, it's the whole strategy and all the knowledge. I think agencies are really good for that. So,
Okay, Martijn, because
I think it's an opportunity actually.
Okay.
Most of our customers, you see a lot of opportunities, but they're never met because of budget or other stuff. So when they do more self-service, you can do more channels, more of the projects that you're not getting to right now. So I think more self-service provides us with more opportunity to do more for our customers, and that's, as I said earlier, the fun part. So,
Yes.
I think it's a good development.
So more for less due to self-service.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got a few seconds left officially for this knowledge sharing session. So last question is just an open question. Do one of you have something to add or to share with our viewers? Wouter, anything to add? Something or? No is an answer as well. Doesn't matter.
No, I think that in 2021 personalization will be a must go for your clients. So help your clients make the next step, and that's what I want to share.
Okay, Edwin, anything to add?
yeah, I agree with that. And we're now in 2020. Probably the most rocky and turbulent year we have ever experienced. But I think I think the challenges we have seen the last year, I think those we need to accomplish or turn around for the real accomplishments we can do for our clients. So there are new markets, new marketplaces. I think the strategies will change because of COVID, but that's the fun part of our work. And I think a CDP, a predictive marketing automation tooling, is the next step. And I think now to 3 years that it's mandatory for our clients to have a CDP and a predictive analytics tooling.
Okay, Martijn, last but not least.
It's good to have some nice, real conversation with real people. So,
First one you've had in last month, except your partner, of course.
yeah. So that's a nice one to close off.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree.
So this was our second part of our first online partner event. I want to applaud, but it's quite silly if I do it alone. So Wouter van der Nieuwzaak, thank you. Edwin from APC, thank you. And Martijn from the Endeavor Group, thank you for joining here. We are not ready yet. So we've got a few minutes left until we're ready. I've got one major part left. Therefore, I'm going briefly to the presentation desk because you as our viewers or as our partners, I want to share some insights with you. So I'm just going to the presentation desk and then I'll continue there. So give me just a few seconds. So 2020 was a turbulent year, even for us as Datatrics as well. But I want to give you some short overview about this year. Because it was our first year with our official partner program. You've seen the nice statues or actually awards on the table. Everyone has received one or will receive one in the next upcoming days if you met the partner agreement and the requirements. I've seen some shares already on LinkedIn, so very good. We'll reshare that so you get a lot of new clients up and running, getting together. But those bronze, silver, gold awards are not the only ones. I've got something else to share with you. Because this year, we have had in total 84 partners globally. So that's quite a lot. And not just within the Netherlands, but we are present in 7 different countries at the moment. So that's something I want to give you. So it's quite a lot. So we grew rapidly this year. We'll try to continue that at the same speed next year, but we will work together on that. And that's why the partners are, so you are very important for us. And for that particular case, we want to introduce, actually, or want to give 3 partners a special award for that. These are all the partners, of course. Hey, you could see your own logo somewhere, so that's very good. There are a lot, so I have to go briefly through it. You're all present on our new website, as Cas mentioned already. So be sure that your link, of course, for SEO is ready up and running to your own Datatrics page. Very important, you guys know that already. But this is where you were all waiting for, the Partner Awards 2020 ceremony. It's something very special. I've got a few minutes left, so I'll make it as short as possible. You've been watching almost 2 hours already. We've got 3 different awards. You see them here right in front of me at the desk. So the one who will win this award, we will send it separately right after this session. So you get it, say, early next week, and you can share it and party around it. Doesn't matter as long as you share it with us. The first one is about the Fast Growing Partner 2020. I've got something prepared for that. So it is a company with around 30 employees. They are were already working with Datatrics prior. I was working there, so that's already for several years, more than 2 years to be exactly. They don't have 1, they don't have 2, not 3, but 5 certified persons. They are placed in Eindhoven and have grown double digits, not only in number of Datatrics clients, but even in revenue. So that's very promising. And we're looking forward to working with this partner in 2021 and beyond. Therefore, the one and only winner for the Fast Growing Award is UDigital. Yeah, we would like to give this to you personally, but we are not allowed to. So, there's a small applause here in the studio. You could not hear it, I guess. But I'll just put it right here. So I think if we could have a visual connection, you were like jumping around. I know, but we won't do that right now, because I have to continue to the next one. Best New Partner 2020, because we've signed up a lot of new partners this year. Small, large, national, internationally, so a lot. Within this category, we've looked at what and who has achieved what kind of results with Datatrics, and not just only about the software, but together with us. So what have we done? What have you learned from us, etc. And about this partner, they achieved great results. Therefore, I hope they can recognize this, because it's something they have on their website up and running. Working together is one of their fundamentals. Data is a compass, innovation is one of the tactical instruments, and creativeness is their power. So they should know who I'm talking about. Within Utrecht, there's this agency who signed up this year, but the knowledge about Datatrics and how to install, configure, use and read it is incredible. So that's why for the Best New Partner 2020, the one and only is Elevate Digital. Congratulations on that one. So that new award will come to you as well. So that's something else you could share on your LinkedIn. I've seen the other one last week, so you've got one more to share. And last but not least, most valuable. Well, this part of the awards is dedicated to the partner which has brought the most value to our customers and to ourselves this year. We've looked at several parts. With this partner, we've created even an offline event, an online event. We've held inspiration sessions together, sales sessions together, and we can continue on. We've even created an integration together for the Pacific Italian market. So, if I tell that a partner who added a lot of value in that Italian market, and even brought us a good footprint, therefore we would like to give this special award to Cipher. So this most valuable award will come to the Italian market straight up. So I think it will take up a few days, but it will come up to you in the end. At least for now, I would say thanks for joining. We're a few minutes before schedule, but it doesn't matter. Of course, I would like to thank all of our guests here at the table. They're still sitting there. Of course, the whole team with whom I created this event. Of course, they're not always in front of this. I am. Sorry for that. Tomorrow or at the beginning of next week, we'll send out a survey about this first online event we've held. So I really appreciate if you fill that in honestly, because we want to share this kind of knowledge with you in 2021 and beyond. So please fill it in. We can do something with it within the next couple of days. So if the setting, for example, is good, we could reorganize it somewhere next year. And of course, next year, we would like to do this kind of settings physically. So with a toast, and of course, I want to give the awards personally, and we could have a snack, something, etc. But due to COVID and everything else, it's not possible. For now, I could just only say, well, Happy Christmas, Happy New Year for those who I won't speak to anymore. And for now, bye-bye, adios, tot ziens, thank you, and until 2021.